18, Jaguars 13. Sloppy game at the bank today. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor, Bucky Brooks shortly with head coach Doug Pederson. We'll have that conversation coming up. Awful first half. A little bit of energy there in the third, fourth, but then not enough at the very end today, and the Jaguars lose. Just a frustrating football game, Fred. Good afternoon.
JP, man, last week Doug said it was a tale of two halves. The offense is non-existent. I think in 2 weeks they've only scored 30 points, giving up sacks in the most inopportune time, that big one at the end right there to give up a safety. They're not making enough big plays for, but they're certainly giving up the big plays against. Few third downs. This game was more mind-boggling for me, especially in the first half. I really didn't understand it, other than the Browns converting 2 for 2 on fourth downs. The Jags were 1 for 6 on third downs from a defensive standpoint, so they played better on third downs. You had the one big penalty against Lloyd, but other than that, they played okay. To score 13-3 at the half, that was kind of tricky for me as well. But I thought they played okay to try and keep the game. It was a closer game from a field standpoint than the actual scoreboard. They came out, they tightened it up a bit in the third quarter, a few 3-and-outs by the defense. I thought the defense played well. They didn't get as much pressure as I thought they would get with the Browns missing 2 starting tackles, but I thought they played well. The Browns had a few 3-and-outs other than that one drive in the second possession, I think, in the second half. There were a lot of penalties, but other than that, they played well. Offensively, we're not getting anything. You know, prior to the big play, the 66-yarder to Brian Thomas Jr., the long play was 10 yards, and I was begging for him to throw a shot. I don't know what it's going to take, Mike, to get someone there on the offensive staff to say, hey, look, we got to throw the ball deep. We have a quarterback that has plenty enough arm. We got young legs out there that can get deep. Christian Kirk, you brought him in here because he can get deep. Brian Thomas, you drafted him high first because he can go deep. You saw it there today. Gabe Davis, you brought him in. Same thing. We're not testing the opposing team's secondary enough, and that's the most frustrating part for me, and I'm sure it's the same for the fans out there. So back to the drawing books. This team has a long way to go.
Yeah, I agree, Fred. I think you got to manufacture some shots here, and I get the idea of whoever's open is where the ball's going to go, but when you've got an elite talent in a particular area of your offense, and Brian Thomas is showing he's elite in terms of getting deep down the field and making plays. I mean, he bounced off a defender and I think sped up when he did to outrun that football and catch up to it, make a 66-yard play, and finally wake the team up. You know, they did max protect another time, and Trevor hung on to the football too long, ended up taking a sack. You know, I mean, if the shot's there, you take it. If it's not, you got to get rid of the football. And like you mentioned, where was the pressure on Deshaun Watson in the first half? This is a team that gave up the most sacks in the league in week 1, and they're playing with backup tackles. And at one point, their backup right tackle went to the locker room. They're playing with their third-string tackle, and you're just not getting any consistent pressure on the Browns.
Not good at all. 18-13, the final score. Browns over the Jaguars. But there was, as you said, Fred, they got a little bit of life after that pass down the field to Brian Thomas Jr. It felt, at least from here, from this view, a little bit more energy in the place. They got back into the football game. But they've got to figure out a way how to get over. I mean, it's going to be tough to come back every week, right? You've got to find a way to get ahead. This team is not built right now to be coming from behind.
No, they're not. I mean, and that's due to a lot of reasons, as we saw right there, the big sack that you give up. You're on the 2-yard line. There's no way you give up a safety knowing what's in front of you, right? So I don't know. You know, we've seen a lot of aggressive, you know, play calling upstairs, and it makes you question, are those calls coming in at the right time? I guess that's why we consider them being aggressive, that they're not coming in at the right time. But you have to max protect and give your guys an opportunity to have some drive starters, especially in that particular situation. But yeah, man, this game is one of the more mind-boggling games for me. This is a team that's 0-2 now. Brian, he was telling me a few stats up there. Jeff said it was 11% of teams have made the playoff for starting 0-2. Brian said there was 407 teams, only 39 have made the playoff. So my math says that's about 9% or something like that.
Either way, it's
either way, right? Either way, we've lost 7 of the last 8, 3-8 since the bye last week. There are no excuses for anybody in the building. Everybody has to be held accountable, no matter if you got money or not, no matter if you're, the guys calling the plays. It stinks for everyone, certainly the fans out there that come in every week to try and see a better product on the field. 30 points, I think, is the most disappointing thing for me from this team because you have a ton of talent on offense, and it's not equating to scores on the field. So defense has played better. They looked better last week. Gave up 2 big plays. I can count the amount of plays they gave up last week and say if you take these back, they can win. But in the NFL, there are no freebies, no refunds. But yeah, the offense, they got to play faster, got to play better, got to make the plays when you're supposed to make the plays. That's the only way you're going to win in this league.
I think the 11% stat is since 1992.
Oh, not the
That's
merger.
how many teams. So it may just be looking at slightly different things. Either way, it's a big uphill climb. I agree, Fred. The offense, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they have playmakers seemingly, right? They can't find a way to get Christian Kirk involved in this football game at all, really for the last couple of weeks. Kirk caught 1 pass for -1 yards today. And then they take a shot to him in double coverage, a deep shot. He's your shortest receiver out there. I don't understand how they're not manufacturing more opportunities for a guy who has such a great rapport with Trevor Lawrence.
It's tough to see. Certainly is. And we've got plenty ahead to try to dissect this thing. There's a lot to go through in this one. Coming up shortly, head coach Doug Pederson will be with Bucky Brooks. We'll have that conversation for you live whenever he is done with the media down the hallway at the bank. The Jaguars Radio Network is presented by UF Health. University of Florida Health is the proud healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio. Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading healthcare and technology organizations nationwide to deliver workforce solutions. CSI prides itself on building meaningful relationships and provides personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Hey fans, it's Tyson Campbell, cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, your game day is getting even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium. And every time we get a pick, you'll score. If the Jaguars get 1 interception, you'll enjoy buy one, get one free pizza at any Al's Pizza location Monday through Thursday after the home game. 2 interceptions, a free dessert. And 3 interceptions, that's a free appetizer. Just tell them you want the Jags pick. Up your game and get your Al's Pizza at the game or any of their locations.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning.
Starting the bottom left. Doug, what do you attribute the struggles in the red zone to today?
Comes down to, awareness, comes down to just execution on the field, comes down to, coaching. There's a lot of things I think we can maybe point a finger at, but it's definitely an area that needs to improve.
Could you take us inside near the end of the first half, the 2 timeouts called as opposed to delaying game there with
Yeah, I mean, it's just the situation, the situational awareness. I mean, it just the clock was running down, and we just it can't happen. It just can't happen, and so had to take the 2 timeouts.
Doug, what happened on the safety? Was it a protection issue? Were there bad routes run? Should Trevor have gotten rid of it? What was kind of your thought process on the breakdown
I mean,
there?
it's we knew what we had to do. We had to go 98 yards, obviously, and just we had a chance to push the ball down the field at that time, and and it just felt like the pocket collapsed a little bit on his left side, and just nowhere to go with the ball. So we just gotta clean that stuff up.
Doug, I think at halftime you said to TV or radio that the nonsense has to stop. Can you kind of explain what you were talking about there?
Just execution.
Doug, is the offensive line good enough to execute the way you guys want to or need to?
I feel they are, yes.
Doug, over here.
I see you, Gene.
Okay. Could you just talk a little bit about it? I don't know if you would call it lack of energy, lack of rhythm, but how do you explain that first half? Because it just seemed like both sides of the ball just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, that's something we need to look into and find out why. It's really, we have an opportunity to play a football game. We're blessed to coach and play, and you should be excited about stepping on the field and giving everything you have, and it's a tough sport, and it's something I got to try to figure out with the guys and see what's going on.
Doug, how stunned are you at just the lack of offensive execution the last 6 quarters?
Yeah, I mean, it's not who we are, I mean, these guys, coaches, players, they work too hard during the week, and listen, that's a good defense. It's a really good defense, probably one of the best in the league, and if there's a measuring stick, then we didn't measure up very well today, and something we got to look at, and there's too much talent, I think. I mean, there's signs of it, but just not consistent enough.
I think you had 22 plays for 74 yards with about 2 minutes to go in the third. What changed where you did start to get some things going?
I don't know. I guess, we went a little up-tempo, and, I think just the tempo, really. Just executed with our backs against the wall.
Doug, it looked like you took exception to the 2 roughing the passer penalties on your defense early, and then looked like there might have been a no call on Trevor late. Anything you got from the officials talking to them, going back and forth about how, maybe the ticky-tackness of those calls?
No.
Doug, in terms, third down was an issue last week in the loss to Miami. Today, 3-9. Anything you can put your finger on as to why execution isn't better on third down?
I mean, we definitely got to look at the film and see why. But third down's an important down, and we know they got some great pass rushers over there, and we just didn't do our part. And maybe it's on us as coaches. We didn't help our guys out enough. But we just got to look at the tape and figure out why.
And then what happened with Evan, and then how much of a hole does that put you in when you lose your tight end an hour before the game?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was during his warm-up, prior to pregame, and it was, right at the time when we put our inactives in. So we didn't have an opportunity to make a change. But it's no different if he goes down play one, So we still have to go out and play.
Doug, it seems like you're just at a loss to kind of figure out why this team is performing at the level it is. Is that correct? And what's next to try?
Well, I'm at a loss because we've been together for a while now, right? And we shouldn't be playing the way we're playing. We shouldn't be coaching the way we're coaching. So I take accountability, there. It starts with me. So, and then it goes to the assistant coaches and players. But I just know that we're a better football team than what we played today.
Doug, along those lines, I know you put a lot of work in to lead up to this point through camp and everything, but do you have to avoid hitting the panic button early, and do you do anything to kind of jumpstart these guys, that locker room?
Well, I think you don't hit the panic button. There's a long season ahead, but we got to figure some things out in a hurry. We've got to coach some things and do some things. Each person has to look at themselves in the mirror, me included, and just we've got to do better. I mean, it's disappointing. It's disappointing because there's glimpses of greatness out there, but it's not consistent enough.
Anybody else for Coach? Last one here. One of those glimpses of was Brian Thomas Jr. How do you feel that he's adjusted to the pro game and so far in 2 regular season games?
I think he's done a nice job. Made a couple big plays the last 2 games, and it's helped us score some points. So it's good to see him coming along and doing the things that we've asked of him, and you just see his ability to make plays down the field.
Doug, one last thing. Could you just talk about the frustration of losing the timeouts in the first half? 2 of them were to avoid delay of game penalties, and I forget what the first one was. But how tough is that? Because you want to hold them in your pocket, hold them to give yourself time in that last drive, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it's tough.
All right, Trevor is right here. So
anybody want it first for Trevor?
Can you start just with the safety? Obviously, you didn't have a lot of time there, but from your vantage point, what kind of broke down on that play?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just play where even if, don't have a ton of time, I got to get rid of it. You're in the end zone and just held on to it for a tick too long, trying to wait on it to develop downfield. And I was trying to move away from little interior guy that kind of got through, and then it's a bad play by me. I thought the O-line did a good job for most of the night, holding up against a really good pass rush, really good group. It just can't happen. Whether, just live to find another down. If it's not there right away, get it out of your hand. Second will be second down on the 2 instead of taking that safety, and basically ends the game. Obviously our defense got a big stop, gave us another shot, but, slim chances.
Trevor, how stunned are you by the offensive performance in the last 6 quarters?
Yeah, I mean, we suck right now, so I don't. Pretty shocked. Obviously we had a great offseason, great training camp, and we got to figure it out. So we know we got a good group, we got good players, and we can be a really good offense, but clearly we're not. So everybody's got to take accountability, look in the mirror, and fix it. I got to play better. I'm the leader of this offense. It's on me. The wideouts got to play better. The line's got to play better. Running backs got to play better. We got to coach better. I mean, it's everybody, honestly. But we're standing around. We got to take charge. We're standing around waiting on somebody to make a play. Defense is playing their ass off the last 2 weeks. If a team doesn't score more than 20 points on us, we should win every week. We can't finish in the red zone today. Too many mistakes, getting in and out of the huddle. Communication wasn't good. I mean, it's a lot of things. And fortunately and unfortunately, it's what pisses you off after the game. A lot of it we control. But we control it, but we're not doing it right. So until we do it right, it's a different story. So we know the things we got to work on, and we got to find a rhythm as an offense. Too many good players to perform like that. Really, the last 2 weeks.
Trevor. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you about that because obviously it's a rhythm position where once you get into a rhythm, everything kind of flows in it. But how hard has it been to get that kind of rhythm? And secondly, did the Browns show you anything differently defensively that maybe you didn't see on film before?
Not really. This is a team that does what they do, and this coordinator's been in the league for a long time. He's been really good for a long time and has had a bunch of good defenses. And their scheme is simple, and they're physical, and they play fast, and they diagnose things quickly. And we had what I thought was a good plan, and obviously maybe it wasn't a good plan. Who knows? Didn't work. We didn't execute it great either. So there's a lot of stuff we got to go back to the drawing board and look at. And like I said, everybody just has to look in the mirror, and this isn't the time to start getting defensive. But we got to stand up and say, this is on me. I got to fix it. Everybody's got to fix it.
Trevor, it just seems like things were disjointed from the get-go. You guys had to use 2 timeouts in the first half to avoid delay of games. You slammed the ball in frustration on one of them. Anything you can point to as to why it just took so long to get into any kind of rhythm?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Seemed like, I also, one of those was on me. The clock was rolling. It was after a big play, and we didn't have the urgency getting out of the huddle and getting up to the line and seeing the play clock. I'll own that when we took the first time out. Then after that, it's just communication, like we're getting in late. We're trying to figure it out. And, obviously Evan went down today before the game, so some things changed, but it doesn't matter. There's no excuses. You got to perform, and you got to be able to adjust and, know the plan, know the plays that are coming in. If it changes personnel, if whatever changes, we got to get in faster. We got to get out of the huddle. This is a team, like I said, they're really good up front. You want to know where you're going protection-wise. You got to have time to communicate. You want to get out of the huddle quickly so you can communicate. And they do have some pressure stuff that's really good that you have to be able to diagnose. And if you don't have time, it makes it really hard. And we played behind the clock way too much today, especially in the red zone. So we got to look at it and say, hey, is it me? Am I not communicating good enough in the huddle? Are we not getting our substitutes in fast enough? Are we not listening enough in the huddle? Are we not tight enough? Are we breaking the huddle and asking what we got? Like different things. I mean, it's on all of us. We all have to look at that and just put emphasis on communication. I mean, it's day one stuff. It's simple stuff.
You mentioned follow-up. You mentioned earlier about not having Evan. What about Christian Kirk? It just seems like, for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to get going either.
Yeah, it's a great point. And that's something where there's opportunities where I got to give him the ball, but we got to get him the ball. We got to make that an emphasis. He's one of our best players. We got to keep him involved, and I'm not putting that on anyone in particular. There was opportunities for him to get the ball today where maybe I didn't get to him quick enough or didn't find him. I went somewhere else with the ball or whatever. But we have to continue to give him the opportunities to make plays because we've all seen how good he is, and he's not the only one. So we can't hit the panic button, but we gotta have some real conversations, and we got too good of a team to come out here and perform 2 weeks in a row like this. These games are precious, and you don't get them back, and we're 0-2 to start the year, and it's not gonna get any easier. We got a lot of good teams on our schedule, so coming up this week, so we better fix it quick. But we can't hit the panic button at the same time. We have to stay together.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that part, what is that balance, Trevor, between not hitting the panic button but saying, hey, what we're doing right now isn't working, and is there a step to take to kind of jumpstart this thing?
Yeah, I think it's holding yourself and others accountable, honestly. I mean, if when we go watch this game tomorrow, whenever we watch it, I'm not sure the schedule with the Monday night game, whenever we go watch this game, we got to be honest with ourselves, and if you don't like it, and if you made a mistake, and you don't like people calling it out and talking about it, you need to find a different job because this isn't the one. Things matter, little details matter, and I'm talking to myself as much as anyone, so I don't want it to be misconstrued. But that stuff matters, and you look at every play. Everyone had a play today, at least one, that they can do their job a lot better. And you look back at it, and all those plays add up, and they affect the game, and you end up losing. And we played as bad as we can play, and what was it, 18-13 or something? I mean, we were 1 for 4 in the red zone. If we score one of those times, we win the game. I mean, it comes down to that. We had where we didn't get set on the one play, touchdown to Christian, and then you look back at the drive earlier in the first half, we had the 2 timeouts, and then after that, I think I missed Brian, who was open, and then after that, I had to scramble and whatever. So it's just little details, and we were in the red zone twice, close down the inside the 5, and didn't score. And you can't do that in this league. You got to take advantage of those opportunities. So, yeah.
Trevor, did you and Doug, did some frustration kind of boil over at one point? I think TV cameras kind of caught you guys a little bit of an animated conversation at one point.
No, I don't honestly remember when that was. No, I mean, just me and him talking to each other. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. I honestly don't remember. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations, today throughout the game, and it's stuff where, we're on the same page. So I guess that's what I'd say there. We're on the same page.
All right, thanks, Trevor.
Yeah. All right.
Partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Jaguars fans, huddle up. Do you own a vehicle made in the last 10 years? If your car is outside of factory warranty or with no warranty coverage, get the best defense against expensive auto repairs with CarShield, the official auto protection partner of the Jaguars. With plans to fit every budget, CarShield helps you cover up to 5,000 parts and systems. Call 800-471-1223 now or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. That's 800-471-1223. Coverage varies by plans. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at EverBank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Chelsea here. Tired of those drafty windows and high energy bills? It's time to upgrade with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, during our exclusive sale, you can save big on custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors designed to keep your home comfortable and secure all year round. Our Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, providing superior durability and impact resistance. Plus, with flexible financing options available, there's never been a better time to make a switch. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey and Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. 18-13 the final, and obviously a frustrated head coach, Fred, just looking for answers, and he mentioned it, and Trevor Lawrence, who we just heard a moment ago, said, guys got to be accountable. Everybody had a mistake today somewhere. Go find it, correct it, and move forward. That's all you can really do.
Yeah, it'll be easy to find it. The tape never lies.
Yeah.
Easy to fix, I don't know. It seems that everyone – takes their shot each and every week to mess up at the wrong time. But, nothing bigger than turning the ball over at the wrong time, giving up sacks at the wrong time, or maybe even a big play against. But it's the penalties that hurt at the wrong time more than anything. So they'll have an opportunity to watch plenty of film. Here they are getting ready for a Monday night contest in Buffalo against a team who thrashed the team that beat you a week ago. So,
and they're coming off 10 days rest.
And
too.
they're coming off 10 days rest. So you'll have enough time to go and watch the film, try and see if you can get some of these guys to heal up with some of their soft tissue injuries. You'll have an opportunity to go and say, much like what Arizona did today, Mike, we were just offline. We kind of mentioned it a week ago. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 4 targets, 1 catch. They said, no, that's not good enough. He's the 4th pick overall. We got to force the issue with him. We got to manufacture these plays. Today he has 5 targets in the first quarter, 4 catches, 132 touchdowns. Arizona's up 14 against the Rams. So, at that time they were up 14 against the Rams. So sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, we know Trevor can sling it. We name the field EverBank. Let's, put our faith in him. Just go make him sling it around sometimes. You win, you lose. It's a figure of speech, everyone out there. You die by it, right? So if I'm going to go down swinging, I invested in this person, I'm going to use him. I went and got Brian Thomas Jr. early. We saw him make plays today. I want to give him a shot. Gabe Davis, you got to make the plays, big man. I'm going to give you a shot. So I'm going to try to stretch the defense, get the ball down the field offensively. And on the other side, my DNs, Trayvon Walker, we took you number 1 overall. I expect you to make bigger plays in the pass game. Josh Hines Allen, we just gave you $200 million. I expect you to put a little bit more pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. But you got to put the players in those positions. They want to play, but the coaches have to really script these plays and try and put those players in the best situations where they can just go play freely and get after the opposing team.
Time now for the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. We'll go with the Foye Oluokun sack. It was in the second half. It was a 3rd down play. They brought pressure. Foye got off a block, got home, and I don't know how he didn't strip the ball from Deshaun Watson. Somehow he held on to that football. We'll call that the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. Plenty more ahead. Look at the final stats. More with Fred Taylor. You're on a roll tonight, Fred.
Yeah, I am.
Got a lot to talk. It's a lot to go.
I mean, because I'm a fan. I'm a former player. I expect more as the fans do. Like, I just want to see these guys win, man.
More with that guy. When we come back, it's Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank performance savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank. Advantage you. Member FDIC. And the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Today's highlight is brought to you by Toyota. At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota, let's go places. Get $2,000 in loyalty cash bonus on a new 2024 Toyota Tundra. Offer valid through September 30th, 2024. Offer entitles current Tundra customers to $2,000 loyalty cash bonus on the retail purchase or lease of any new 2024 Tundra gas or hybrid vehicle. Cash may be used only toward down payment or capitalized cost reduction on the new vehicle. See dealer for details.
Something happens when you begin to believe. What seems way off in the distance gets closer.
You focus on what needs to get done, and you'll let nothing get in your way.
Next year becomes this year, and maybe next time becomes now.
A whole city will rally behind you and begin to believe too. Because when you believe, the unbelievable can happen. We believe in justice for everyone, and we believe we're the attorneys to help people get it. Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars, Jacksonville.
Facing cancer takes a lot of determination, strength, and support. And you'll get it all at Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center. Determination from world-renowned doctors, giving you specialized treatment with cutting-edge technology and research. Strength and support from a dedicated team, caring for you completely, during and after treatment. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Appointments available at baptistmdanderson.com.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey and Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios. After an 18-13 loss, Browns over the Jaguars in Week 2. The Jags now 0-2. The Browns 1-1. Let's take a look at the EverBank final stats. And they are not indicative of how this game went today. The first half, the Jaguars had 16 passing yards. Well, they finished the day. The Jaguars outgained the Browns 323 to 297. Rushing yardage in favor of the Jaguars, 127 to 125. Passing net, 196 to 172 in favor of the Jaguars. Somehow the Browns won this game with 13 penalties for 100 penalty yards. The Jags had 6 penalties for 52 yards. Cleveland 2 of 14 on third down. Jaguars were 3 of 9. Of course, the Browns were 3 of 3 on fourth in this game. 18 first downs to 17 in favor of the Jaguars. And time of possession, 34 minutes, 23 seconds. That's after 20 minutes of first half possession for the Browns.
You know what that highlights, JP, and we'll get to individual stats here. If Brenton Strange somehow comes up with that play at the end of the game and the Jags kick the extra point and to go on to victory, the Browns are going, man, we played some bad football today. 13 penalties for 100 yards. Are you kidding me? I mean, and in crucial situations, they're coming up time and time again, giving the Jags new life. At the end of the game, Deshaun Watson, 22 of 34 for 186 yards, no turnovers, no touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, 14 of 30, under 50%, 220. Most of that, obviously, in the second half. Was sacked 4 times by the Browns, and no touchdowns, no interceptions there either. Travis Etienne ran it 13 times for 52 yards with a score. Jerome Ford, interestingly enough, only had 7 carries in this game for 64 yards. They decided to go with the mutter today in Deontay Foreman. He had 14 for 42, opened the game up, only averaged 3 yards a carry, but he ran physically in the middle of that line, and he seemed to pick up some key yards. Once again, here's Brian Thomas with the 66-yard grab, one of his 2 catches that went for 94 yards total, and Strange came up with 3 for 65. Gabe Davis, your target leader for the second straight week, 3 for 43 for Gabe. Jerry Jeudy led the way, and most of this came late on that drive where the Jags could have had a lot more time to go down and try to win it. Jeudy caught 5 for 73. Elijah Moore was 6 for 44. The Jags really bottled up Amari Cooper. He had a big drop as well, but 8 targets, only 3 catches for 11 yards. Monteric Brown led the way with 11 solo tackles for Jacksonville. You hate to see that coming from a cornerback. That means they're completing a lot of passes on you. And the sacks today for the Jaguars at the hands of Josh Hines-Allen and Foye Oluokun.
There you have it, the EverBank final stats. Fred, we've got to figure out this Christian Kirk situation. 3 targets, 1 catch, minus 1 yard.
You gotta go back, look at the tape like they say they were going to do, and you got to say, look, when he first came here, not the year before, he was the man. Like, we found a way to get him the ball. Crossers, shallows, Doug's first year, it was amazing. Same thing with Evan Ingram and all those guys. A lot more of that. We got to get back to that some. 3-level offense situations. Now we have a deep threat and Brian Thomas. We can also get him the ball. So Christian Kirk, if we force the issue early on, I think that'll be better for everyone.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars Radio Network. The Jaguars Radio Network, presented by UF Health. University of Florida Health is the proud healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Player of the game voting when we return. 18-13 the final. Browns over the Jaguars, and it's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning, and you could save up to $4,500 through possible tax credits and other discounts. Purchase a new system today, and Florida Home Air Conditioning will buy back your old inefficient HVAC system. Request your complimentary consultation from Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130085557.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in Miami and Houston. Watch them win in Philly, Detroit, Nashville, and Las Vegas. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Final score of 18-13, Browns over the Jags in Week 2. And time now for the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. I get a vote, Mike gets a vote, Fred gets a vote and a half, and it's tough sledding today. Fred, you want to start us?
No, I really don't.
Okay,
JP.
Mike, you want to start us? Go ahead.
Can I pass?
I think I'm out too.
All right. No,
tough.
It's tough, yeah.
I mean, look, I think there are 3 candidates for me. And I'm going to go on the defensive side here.
Really?
Because, again, this offense was so anemic today. I think we could go with the guy we ended up going with last week. But you look at the box score, Josh Hines-Allen had the sack. He had 4 quarterback hits today. He was around Deshaun Watson. Now, would you have liked him to have 3 sacks and 4 quarterback hits? Yes, but I think, overall, the offense was the side of the ball that let them down more, so I just feel like I'm going to go on the defense here.
Fred, what do you think?
I like that assessment, Mike. I looked at the rookie there. I just love the fact that he got deep there, had 94 yards. But I won't take it away from Josh. I won't let my vote with the 1.5 or however you guys score it. I won't let it take away from Josh's performance. I thought he showed up. We all said before the game we needed that pressure. Josh did put pressure on him. They didn't always equate the sacks, but he was around the QB, as you said, Mike, with the first QB hits and the 1 sack. The pass defended too, I think, as well. So, Josh, keep grinding, brother. That'll be my vote today.
There you have it. We'll make it a clean sweep then. Josh Hines-Allen, the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150. It's loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Baptist Health Injury Report when we return. It's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning, and you could save up to $4,500 through possible tax credits and other discounts. Purchase a new system today, and Florida Home Air Conditioning will buy back your old inefficient HVAC system. Request your complimentary consultation from Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
Hey fans, it's Tyson Campbell, cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, your game day is getting even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium. And every time we get a pick, you'll score. If the Jaguars get 1 interception, you'll enjoy buy one, get one free pizza at any Al's Pizza location Monday through Thursday after the home game. 2 interceptions, a free dessert. And 3 interceptions, that's a free appetizer. Just tell them you want the Jags pick. Up your game and get your Owl's Pizza at the game or any of their locations.
If you're facing cancer, you want a dedicated team working for you. At Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, we only focus on cancer. And we partner with one of the largest cancer centers in the world. So you'll have a specialized treatment plan created by our experienced and highly trained oncologists and surgeons, collaborating with one of the country's leading cancer centers. Best of all, we're in North Florida with locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Appointments at baptistmdanderson.com.
Calling all loyal Jags fans and loyal Gate customers, football is back. And you and 3 friends could win a chance to meet Trevor Lawrence. Entering is easy. Just buy any 5 28-ounce Gatorade or Gatorade Zero products at Gate with your MyGate Rewards app, and you'll be automatically entered. Not a MyGate Rewards member? Download the app and sign up today. See store for details. Alternate entry available at GatoradePromos.com/TLAW.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to EverBank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios after a Jags loss in Week 2. Browns 18, Jaguars 13. And let's take a look at the injury report presented by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Well, the Jags are already down 2 starting defensive backs going into the game. Darnell Savage with a quadriceps injury in practice this week missed the game. Tyson Campbell's on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. So those were going in, and then about an hour before kickoff, the news came down that Evan Ingram was a game-time scratch after the inactives had been announced. So he was unable to go with a hamstring injury in pregame warm-ups today. During the game, Tank Bigsby with a right shoulder issue, but actually did return to the game. Andre Sisco in the second quarter with a groin issue. He came back into the ball game. Anton Harrison in the fourth quarter had to come out for at least a play. And then Gabe Davis on the last drive had one of his arms kind of hanging down to the side. And this is, all of a sudden, there's some injuries piling up on this football team.
Boy, you lose Evan Ingram, who's a big body. And granted, you have other tight ends, but they're not nearly as accomplished if you're without Gabe Davis. Now, you're talking about the big over-the-middle guys are gone out of your pass-catching core. And Brian Thomas is tall, but he's not thick like those guys. And, look, I just think, Freddie, we've talked about it pretty directly here. Whoever's open is going to get the ball is fine, but if you think you have a special talent, like you're just pointing out, Jamar Chase, right? Drew 2 guys, and Joe Burrow was able to throw a touchdown because everyone knows he will force the ball to Jamar Chase, and you've got to double cover that guy. We've got to turn Brian Thomas Jr. into that kind of weapon for this team.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and you have to earn that. You know, the more games, the more reps and opportunities you get, you have to eventually earn that, and teams will recognize you as that person. The Randy Mosses, the Megatrons, like we knew they were going to get double coverage. The other guys, you got to win. Like, you got to help us out by winning. I don't believe there's a threat or a player that has that identity on this roster in the passing game. So until you force that issue and make someone become that guy, everybody's just a good nameless face, as Coach Tomlin would say it. I believe Brian Thomas, he can be somewhat of that the Jimmy Smith for us. I said that before. Young talent, I think he's extremely good, and he's going to show everybody that he's going to be the best receiver that we've drafted in the last 10, 12 years. So, no, but you got to go out there. You got to make it work. And even if it means force the issue, see if he's going to make those plays for you. Throw him the outside fades, the stop fades, the deep shots. Just make him go out there and make a play,
Got to protect it, though, to be able to do that.
You do have to protect it. You have to scheme. You have to make sure your running backs are on board to chip release on their way out, being the last-minute outlet for Trevor. And Trevor also has to make sure that he's looking for those checkdowns to kind of manipulate the defensive coverage throughout the course of the game. So watching film is going to be key. Simplifying things for the players so they can play fast, get in and out of the huddle, play fast, move fast. Situational football, making sure all the coaching staffs are on the right page at the same time. All of that stuff can help you erase this drought that you're in. But they got to do it, and they got to find consistency in doing such.
We're back with some final thoughts after this Jaguars loss to the Browns, 18-13. Sloppy day at the bank all around. And it's another loss for the Jaguars. It's Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at EverBank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, EverBank NA, member FDIC.
To aim higher, run faster. It's what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA. To not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
Today's highlight is brought to you by Toyota. At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota, let's go places. Get $2,000 in loyalty cash bonus on a new 2024 Toyota Tundra. Offer valid through September 30th, 2024. Offer entitles current Tundra customers to $2,000 loyalty cash bonus on the retail purchase or lease of any new 2024 Tundra gas or hybrid vehicle. Cash may be used only toward down payment or capitalized cost reduction on the new vehicle. See dealer for details.
Something happens when you begin to believe. What seems way off in the distance gets closer.
You focus on what needs to get done, and you'll let nothing get in your way.
Next year becomes this year, and maybe next time becomes now.
A whole city will rally behind you and begin to believe too. Because when you believe, the unbelievable can happen. We believe in justice for everyone, and we believe we're the attorneys to help people get it. Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars, Jacksonville.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today. Official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor on the Jaguars Radio Network. Presented by UF Health. University of Florida Health is the proud healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 50-50 raffle was a big number today here at the bank, and a $46,000 plus total, $23,261 to the winner today. The 50-50 raffle brought to you by Duval Ford. The winning number 364-078-56027. Somebody's going away happy today. Not much of anybody else that's wearing teal today in an 18-13 loss. Now it is on to Buffalo. Monday Night Football. The Bills and the Jaguars. Jags take the road trip to Orchard Park this week. Extra day off this week. The Bills will have had 10 days of rest between their Thursday night game in Miami this week and Monday Night Football at home, Fred. It's a tough task. Jaguars beat this Bills team last year, of course, in London, and hey, this Bills team looked pretty good on Thursday night too.
Yeah, what Buffalo is doing is they're creating turnovers. You know, they've taken the ball away 4 times, only given away once early in the season. They're putting their team in position to go down and score. I was actually at that Thursday night game, and you know, the one thing I saw them do, they ran the ball well right up the middle against the Dolphins, which I believe a week ago the Jaguars could have continued to do the same thing, but you know, that's neither here nor there. The Buffalo can run the ball with Cook. Obviously, we all know what Josh Allen can do as a quarterback there. He can throw it, he can run it. I think he has 55 career rushing touchdowns, so he's a threat in the run game. We all thought Buffalo was going to fall off a bit after, you know, Diggs left and they got rid of a few other guys, and we thought Buffalo was in a rebuilding year, but they've looked strong. They played well against Arizona in week 1. They thrashed the Dolphins 31-10. We saw what happened with Tua right there. It was a really physical game on a Thursday night. JP, you mentioned the rest.
Yep.
So they're going to have fresh legs. They're going to be very confident that they can play first game at home, first home game. First home game. So they're going to be excited, and the fans are going to be crazy and ready and eating those wings and doing all types of other crazy stuff. Breaking tables is what they do best up there in Orchard Park. It's going to be a tough one, but it'll be a good test for this team. You know, a year ago, I think they only won 3 games here in EverBank. 3 of their 8 games here at EverBank, they won. They had a better road record a year ago. So hopefully they have confidence in knowing that they can go and play on the road. They've had Josh Allen's number. They played well against Buffalo. So with all of that, I think from a game plan situation, Doug knows them well. They know each other well. It just comes down to big plays and protecting the football. As I mentioned, Buffalo's been after those turnovers. So it's going to be tough. Will this young team, or will this team, be ready under the big bright lights of Monday Night Football?
I think that's the biggest thing. It's not schematic. How do they show up, right? So flat today for the home opener. Right? If you do that against the Bills on the road in a frenzied Monday night environment, forget it. You're going to be 0-3. So this team's got to look inwardly, I think, Fred, and decide, you know, what it's going to take to get them to play at a fever pitch right from the opening gun. You know, they played desperate football in the second half. Trevor threw for over 200 yards in the second half. I'm not saying it was pretty. It was never pretty today, but, man, you're going to have to find a way to match that Buffalo Bills intensity from the opening kick.
Fred, great stuff today. We'll get back on the horse on Monday night. How about it?
It ain't got to be pretty.
Just get it
We're
done.
at the point it ain't got to be pretty.
We'll take it anyway.
However it comes, sloppy, like whatever it is. Let's just get a win.
Have a good week, Fred. We'll talk to you next week.
I see you cutting me off, JP, because
I'm
you know I'm still ready to go.
Well, I mean, you want to stick around another hour? We can take phone calls,
No, I don't.
too.
I have a flight that I got to take.
Okay.
But I'll be back Tuesday if you want to talk.
We can figure something.
We can always do our Zoom thing.
We can figure something out.
All of that. So
we'll make it work.
Let's make it happen.
That's Fred Taylor, pride of the Jaguars, running back. I mean, when's the after show? Is there an after show on Instagram or something tonight? No, I mean you should do one. You're on a roll right now.
No after show on IG or nothing like that, man. I'll go home and be sad like the rest of us Jaguar fans, and hope that we get one sooner or later.
Fred Taylor, Mike Dempsey, I'm JP Shadrick. Coming up, the Scoreboard Show is next. We'll take your calls. Brian Sexton will join us. Final score for the final time. Browns 18, Jaguars 13 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome to the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by University of Florida Health, Farah and Farah, Baptist Health, and by Trevor Bank. Now, waiting to hear from you, here are Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and JP Shadrick.
Welcome in the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Brian Sexton sitting in. We're at the Hyundai Studios after a Jaguars lost to the Browns 18-13. The final score 355 NFL 1. The number 355-6351. Plenty to discuss. Brian Sexton, good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'll be able to hear as soon as I actually plug the headset in. I'm looking for why it wasn't working.
It happens.
Hi, and it's still not working.
It happens. A lot of things didn't work for the Jaguars today.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme of the day, isn't it?
18-13 loss. The offense, certainly one of those. Defense had moments today, but they gave up 18 points. It's not like they, were getting blown out of the gym today.
It just, it felt like a bad omen when I heard about Evan Ingram. And listen, for all the reasons, all the weapons there are, even at that moment, I wasn't like, well, that doesn't kill him. But for an offense that couldn't do much last week in the second half, it didn't feel very good. And then 16 passing yards in the first half, and 3 of 9 on third down, and 1 of 4 in the red zone. And I mean, I'm glad to be here, guys.
We're glad you're here.
Right.
Glad you're here.
I'm with you, though. It did feel like when you get that to happen right before the game, and I would imagine Evan Ingram would have been a big part of the game plan. Not an excuse.
No.
Jags played terribly, okay? But he really was the best part of their offense when they played Cleveland late in the season last year. So, but you look at this, Brian, and the Browns are 2 of 14 on third down. They commit 13 penalties for 100 yards in this game. If the Jags somehow pull that out in the end, the Browns are saying, we played one of our worst football games that we can remember, and they still won. Amari Cooper did almost nothing. They were without David Njoku, who killed the Jags last year. Both their starting tackles. Their free safety went on IR this week. I mean, there were plenty of mistakes that were being made by the Cleveland Browns today.
In the Browns, the Jaguars couldn't get them off the field in the first half, right? They didn't get a lot of points. They only ended up with 13 points. But the Jaguars couldn't get them off the field. And then in the second half, they did nothing. They punted 5 times in 6 second-half possessions. They got the 1 field goal, and that was on a ticky-tack PI on Monteric Brown. You could have called it either way, or you could have not called it at all. And that set up the field goal. They did nothing in the second half. We should be talking at this moment about a great come-from-behind win, but you take the safety and you don't have a chance to kick the game-tying field goal from the 30-yard line instead. And of course, you missed a field goal in the third quarter also. I mean, I know it's crazy to say those things after a loss, but as bad as they played, it's not like the Browns dominated the action. They just made more plays at the right moment.
They dominated, like you said. They dominated the line of scrimmage in the first half.
Yes, they did.
And they only had the ball 3 times. They put points up every single time. But that missed field goal is huge because in the end, all right, they pin you at the 2. Well, if you're only down 3, you don't feel that panic necessarily. All we got to do is get the field goal range now, and you're not taking a deep drop necessarily in the end zone, so you're not giving up that safety potentially. Yeah, and maybe you pop a run out of there, and you start off with a good sequence of plays. So, I mean, look, I get it. The weather conditions weren't perfect, but Cam Little, you got to make a 43-yard field goal.
And there were lots of mistakes. I mean, there was one series, maybe it was the first series of the third quarter after the Jaguars defense got a 3-and-out against the Browns, where Cam Robinson missed blocks on back-to-back plays.
Absolutely.
And the Jaguars go 3-and-out and punt. I mean, it's just and then he played better against Myles Garrett later in the ball game, and Brandon Sheriff was getting driven back into the offensive backfield. I mean, you can put your finger at every single person today on both sides of the ball at times.
Yeah, one of those sacks that Trevor took was Cam came around, pulled, and had the guy. He was right there, just ran right past him. Went too far. And so, again, just like last week with Calais Campbell starting the game off, guy comes in unblocked.
355 NFL 1, the number 355-6351. The phone lines are open. Keep it clean after a Jaguars loss 18-13 to the Browns. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans covering repairs on up to 5,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call 800-471-1223. Coverage varies by plans. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com. Attention Northeast Florida businesses. The Jaguars and Corporate Traveler are teaming up to bring you the Rising Business Spotlight Program. Get your business in front of 65,000 passionate fans at each Jaguars home game. It's your chance to shine with prime in-stadium exposure, an interactive activation space, and a powerful social media spotlight. Be one of the 6 selected small to medium-sized businesses to be showcased this season. Connect with new audiences like never before. Visit corporatetraveler.us/Jaguars. Don't miss out on this game-changing opportunity with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Corporate Traveler.
Calling all loyal Jags fans and loyal Gate customers, football is back. And you and 3 friends could win a chance to meet Trevor Lawrence. Entering is easy. Just buy any 5 28-ounce Gatorade or Gatorade Zero products at Gate with your MyGate Rewards app, and you'll be automatically entered. Not a MyGate Rewards member? Download the app and sign up today. See store for details. Alternate entry available at GatoradePromos.com/TLAW.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Chelsea here. Tired of those drafty windows and high energy bills? It's time to upgrade with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, during our exclusive sale, you can save big on custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors designed to keep your home comfortable and secure all year round. Our Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, providing superior durability and impact resistance. Plus, with flexible financing options available, there's never been a better time to make a switch. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios. The Scoreboard Show continues. 355-NFL-1, the number, 355-6351. Well, after a Jaguars loss to the Browns 18-13, the phone lines are full, Mike.
Oh, boy, are they. Yeah. Yes. So let's get out to it. 355-NFL-1. Start things off with Greg on the south side. Greg, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Great show as always. I'll just make a couple of comments and then take it off the air. Listen, Trevor Bank, let's just call it Never Bank. How about that? And I think everybody is to blame. I think the coaches, the team, everybody should be on the hot seat at this point. I think it was bad time management. And I heard the interview in the locker room with Doug Pederson. He practically sounded suicidal. He was so down. So I don't know what the answer is, but it's pretty hard to swallow. Thanks, guys, and I'll take it off the air.
Yeah, appreciate it, Greg. I think time management is a big. How are they having to keep burning these timeouts, Brian, in the first half when they can't get a play off?
Well, I heard Trevor say that they didn't have a sense of urgency coming out of the huddle once they got to the red zone. Well, why the hell not?
Right. Yeah, what are we doing?
I mean, for an offense that was struggling to get anything started, you finally have a little bit of momentum, and they just don't. I mean, it was like they didn't have any situational awareness of what they were trying to do at that particular moment.
And Doug Pederson reportedly, when he was asked his first question in the postgame, 15 seconds of silence as he contemplated what he wanted to say. So I understand. And
Think
with
before you
Bucky
speak.
Brooks, it was like another 10 seconds of just, what do I say here? Because the frustration level is gotten very high very quickly.
The funny thing is that they had some good time management at the back end of the game to get the ball back, right? With a minute 37, they got it at 148, and they got it back at 127.
They were lucky with the holding calls.
Well,
but,
yeah, that helps, right? And times out that they had. That
when you throw it on 3rd and 6 incomplete, that was a gift.
All right, I was trying to give him a benefit.
No, you don't look. It was a good play by Josh Hines Allen to get in there and get the pressure on there and almost force the fumble. You know, Greg, thank you for the call.
The time management, unless we hear that it was a delay in getting the call in on the coach to quarterback radio, that it is all on the quarterback in that offense.
Got to get him up to the line. Yep. Got to get it off. Let's go to Richmond from Bartram next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Richmond.
Hey, man. How you doing, brother?
We're hanging in there, bro.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, man, this has been a rough weekend for all people that live in Florida. If you're a Gator fan, an FSU fan, a Jags fan, I mean, it's crazy that everyone had chances to change things but didn't even produce.
Yeah, it's been a rough go. No doubt about
Appreciate
that.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's not been good.
That's
for
the thing.
football.
This is
Saturday
second week
or
in a row,
Sunday.
though. You can put this team on your back,
and
go down the field, and change. We could be the 2-0 cardiac cats right now, you know. But and again, a gift. Minute 27 left is way more than you could have hoped for at that point, no matter where you started your drive.
And as we said, you don't take the safety. You're not having to go for the touchdown from the 30-yard line if you get the field goal, right? I mean, you're not having to do that. So they missed opportunities to make the most of that final 127 also.
Miami 1-1, Tampa now 2-0. Other Florida teams to complete that question.
Miami had a bad week because they lost and they lost their quarterback.
Right.
But
That's right.
hey, they got the tiebreaker on this team
They do.
right now. Let's get one more in before the break. Dave is in St. Augustine and he's checking in on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Dave.
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Hanging in, man. What's going on?
So I just got a question about, I would rather run that 4th down play rather than taking a field goal instead of starting on the 1 and then passing when we should try to run for a little bit of, breathing room with our timeouts we have. So I'm going to hang up and listen to you guys talk about that.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
He's talking about I think he wanted to, instead of kicking the field goal that made it a 3-point game.
Right. Go for it.
And we talked about that.
We actually talked about that.
You know, if you miss it, if you don't get it, you're pinning them inside the 10. And, you still need a touchdown, but the way your defense was playing in the second half, getting them off the field, you're probably going to get the ball back.
Maybe you get that safety that they got on this team.
Well, and Doug wasn't thinking that he was going to get a safety, was going to take a safety. He's thinking, I want to stay in a position where I can kick a field goal at the end to tie it, because the offense hasn't been playing very well today.
Understood, but, maybe you score a touchdown on that play. You just don't know, right? I mean, you had the one to Kirk. Were it not for the illegal shift by Dearness Johnson, might be a different outcome, but that's the thing. When they talk about beating themselves, that's an example of it, right?
Well, so I get the caller's point, right? I mean, be aggressive, go for it, give yourself a position where you can stop them again. But I think kicking the field goal was the right call there because the offense had not given you a lot of sense. Much of a sense, I don't think, that they were going to be hyper-productive.
Let's come back. Phone lines open, 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351 after a Jags loss to the Browns, 18-13. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank performance savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Facing cancer takes a lot of determination, strength, and support. And you'll get it all at Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center. Determination from world-renowned doctors, giving you specialized treatment with cutting-edge technology and research. Strength and support from a dedicated team, caring for you completely, during and after treatment. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Appointments available at baptistmdanderson.com.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in Miami and Houston. Watch them win in Philly, Detroit, Nashville, and Las Vegas. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to EverBank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at EverBank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios. The Scoreboard Show continues. Phone lines open, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. Browns 18, Jaguars 13. Sloppy, the word of the day.
When it rained, it poured.
Literally.
Right? Yes. Literally. It was both. When it rained and poured today. It just never seemed. There was little brief moments of sunshine, but not nearly enough.
No.
And I'm not talking about the weather.
No, I understand what you're saying. I just wish we could have put our mediocre half today with our good half last week. Right, so we've had one good half of football. Right. I think one okay half in the second half today, but 2 miserable halves.
So Fred and I are over in the West Club. I mean, you've been up there and done that. But,
yeah.
And we just kind of want to work, and yet people come in because it's raining, and all they want to do is talk, right? And they want to talk about what's going on, and Fred at one point just sat in the chair and looked straight ahead and tried to focus/ignore because there was nothing good to say. At the end of the first half, what were you going to say? What happened good in the first half?
We didn't say anything good at halftime.
We kind of ripped them pretty good at half.
Yeah, that's all you could do. There was nothing good. We're trying to get the halftime show ready, just a little, behind the scenes. And Carlos calls down and goes, "What do you want video-wise?" I went, "I don't want any video." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because there's nothing we can show."
Yeah, what are you going to show?
It was that bad in the first half.
All right, back to the lines we go.
16 passing yards in the first half and couldn't get off the field on defense.
In today's NFL, I mean, come on. How many teams don't have a 16-yard passing play in the first half?
Before you go, and I'll make this quick, when they finally took the shot down the field to Brian Thomas Jr., I was like, "You're right, Dempsey.
Got to force one, right?
Force it," because he was saying that early this morning. And I was talking about balance and all that. You got that guy? Go. Take your shot. What took so long to take the shot?
He bumped off a defensive back and got faster.
Yes.
Like he accelerated off the contact. It was insane.
And he couldn't quite judge that ball entirely. He put his hands out there, saw it, and then adjusted. Kind of slid his hands. That was a all-pro catch.
I thought when the ball was on the way, I thought Trevor figured out a way to overthrow him. Nope, not yet.
Great draft pick.
All right, back to the lines we go, and where are we at next? We've got Austin in Arlington next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, Austin.
How are you?
We're hanging in there.
I just want Doug and Trevor to contemplate this. Trevor Bank, more like Trailer Bank, because we were trash.
All right.
Yeah. Well, next.
Not going to get a big argument.
I was going to say, did he expect somebody to?
Not sure, but, as long as you keep it relatively clean, and that was fine.
Had his voice heard.
Jamie from Ocean Way next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, what's going on, boys? How y'all doing today?
Hey, man,
what's up, man?
Dude, I'm having a rough day. I called you last week. I was the first caller, man. Y'all told me to calm down and not overreact, but I'm starting to feel like it's falling apart, dude. Week 2, and we're already the wheels are falling off. I don't know what to do. You got to calm me down again, because week 2, Trevor can't complete a pass. The defense can't get a sack. We can't stop nothing, dude. And I feel like the coaching staff is just falling apart, man. Press Taylor has got to go. How are we going to keep on doing this for a whole 17-game season? We're going to have Press Taylor calling the plays. Run, pass, punt. Is that what we're doing? We've been doing that for 20 years, guys. We can't defend that crap anymore. I know you don't want to.
I'm not trying to, but it was not. I mean, today they threw it 30 times, not counting the 4 sacks, so 34 dropbacks. ETN had 13 carries. Ernest Johnson had 5. So they threw it about 2-1 today.
Well, they had to because they were down and they were
Absolutely.
on the field in the first half.
Look, I'm not saying that anything was good about the offense today, and I'm not going to try to calm you down, because now you've given away 2 games that you don't get that many that are really coin flip kind of games. And as poorly as you played today, the Browns matched you or exceeded you in a lot of ways, Brian. And
13 penalties for 100 yards.
I mean, and these are 2 AFC losses.
That's the part.
These are tiebreakers.
That's the part where I'm with Jamie, where there's a little bit of right? I mean, listen, I think we talked about the numbers this week, JP. Since 1970, which is when the AFL and NFL merged, 407 teams have started. 407 have started 0-2. 39 have made the playoffs. That's 9.8%. It's not a good number. Now, the Bengals did it in 2022, right? So there's no reason why this team can't get it righted and get back on track. However, you have 2 AFC losses, and now you're going to 2 AFC powerhouses. You're going to Buffalo, and you're going to Houston. Man, it's a tall order. You better do it now.
Look, if you win the next 2, I say if. I'm not saying that they're going to. I'm not saying anybody has to feel this way. We're going to live with this, and we got to live with this for an extra day. But if you're able to go into Buffalo, okay, deep breath.
Right.
If you're somehow able to beat Houston, okay, you come home, you got a chance then to get to 2-0 in the division. That's a long way off.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to play better football.
Now, they won their last year, right? I mean, so they won their last 2 years, but in 2022 they were playing against Davis Mills, right?
I think they're capable of winning any of these games out here, but so are the Buffalo Bills, and they handled their business against Miami in a much more impressive fashion to me because they finished.
Yes.
We'll come back. Plenty more time for calls. Lucky us. 355-NFL-1, the number.
That's a wry smile, Mr. Shadrick.
355-6351 after a Jaguars loss to the Browns. Ugly day. 18-13 the final, and it's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
With the Jaguars as they take the field, here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at EverBank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, EverBank N.A. member FDIC.
Calling all loyal Jags fans and loyal Gate customers, football is back. And you and 3 friends could win a chance to meet Trevor Lawrence. Entering is easy. Just buy any 5 28-ounce Gatorade or Gatorade Zero products at Gate with your MyGate Rewards app, and you'll be automatically entered. Not a MyGate Rewards member? Download the app and sign up today. See store for details. Alternate entry available at GatoradePromos.com/TLAW.
Attention Northeast Florida businesses. The Jaguars and Corporate Traveler are teaming up to bring you the Rising Business Spotlight Program. Get your business in front of 65,000 passionate fans at each Jaguars home game. It's your chance to shine with prime in-stadium exposure, an interactive activation space, and a powerful social media spotlight. Be one of the 6 selected small to medium-sized businesses to be showcased this season. Connect with new audiences like never before. Visit corporatetraveler.us/Jaguars. Don't miss out on this game-changing opportunity with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Corporate Traveler.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, PowerBoost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading healthcare and technology organizations nationwide to deliver workforce solutions. CSI prides itself on building meaningful relationships and provides personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
This is the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey and Brian Sexton from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center after a Jags loss to the Browns 18-13, 355-NFL1, 355-6351. Couple segments to go. What you got, Mike?
I've got a stacked bunch of calls here. Let's go to Chris on the north side next up on the Scoreboard Show. Hello, Chris.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Man, look at here. The Jags is making my cigar taste really bad right now. I mean, I just don't get it. A $275 million contract, $200 million guarantee, and the only thing this quarterback gives us is 16 yards in the first half. Does he have any football situational awareness? You don't take a sack in the end zone. Throw the ball away. Don't even get me started on the offensive line and that ridiculous play calling. Man, I just don't know, but I hope all the coaches remember what Shah Khan said at the beginning of the season. That man was not misquoted. They better get themselves together, and they better find some sort of solution like right now. I'm so sick and tired of defending these guys. I defend Trevor Lawrence every day at my job. Everybody keeps telling me, oh, man, he's sorry. And I be up there defending him. And I can't defend him come tomorrow. I don't even want to go to work. And I have to deal with, I got to hear from those guys at my job. Man, the Giants just better get it together. That's all I can say, man. I take my comments off here.
Thanks for the call. And, you know, it's something we were kind of talking about here. There was a moment in this game, third quarter, when things started to go well. And you saw some fire from the quarterback on the sideline. And,
well, he threw that beautiful ball over the shoulder of the safety and into Brenton Strange's hand to, kind of set up that was a field goal drive. But, yeah, where you felt like, all right, that's the guy. Let's go.
And you saw a little something from him, too.
Right.
I mean, just you don't see that a lot from him sometimes. It's just not his personality. But they needed something today to get him going.
Well, you may see more of it. I don't. Yeah. I know you heard it. I was watching
like
it. Yeah, in the post game. I mean, he told me back in August that it wasn't his personality to get all fired up and to get into guys. Well, maybe it needs to be.
Sometimes people need to get chewed out.
Mahomes,
like, go get him.
Mahomes last year.
Be a leader.
I get it. We're talking about one of the great quarterbacks. But he came to the sidelines in that Buffalo game that they lost last year, the regular season game, and I mean, he just lost it on the sideline. I remember going, good for you. And, of course, they won the Super Bowl. He's a great quarterback. I get it. But sometimes the quarterback has to just let it out.
And that may be the case, but, it's a lot easier and more well-received when you're not throwing for 16 yards in the first half.
Point.
You got to go out there and play at a high level. Mahomes can say anything he wants to anybody in the league.
Yeah, you're right
now, and Tom Brady could do the same, and all these great quarterbacks. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has not approached that level yet.
No.
We hope he does. Chris, thank you. We go to Pierre out in California next on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, Pierre.
Sad and bad. My goodness. Called last week, man. Look at the schedule. Look what we got coming up. We got the Bills, 2 straight division games. I mean, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good, guys. I mean, where do we find the answers? I mean, new players, a couple new coaches, but you know what? Same old Jags. And I know it's kind of early. Nobody want to talk about it. But it might be time to call for the hot seat. The hot seat, guys.
Yeah, I don't think any coach is getting fired after 2 games.
No. No, and I do think, and I think it was the previous caller that was talking about, they better remember what Shad Khan said. They know.
They're aware.
That's as bold a pregame proclamation as I've ever heard an owner make. They're all aware of what's riding on this team this season.
And we heard from Shad Khan in the pregame show today, live right here.
And he didn't back down.
He didn't he knows. He's aware.
What about just coming out and playing like your hair's on fire? Like, just go 2-minute right off the jump. Do something to almost trick yourself into motivating yourself. You know what I mean? Like, give you that artificial sense of urgency, but whatever they're doing, they're starting so slowly, and they're digging this hole, and you're like, man, it's just like climbing up a mountain just to get on the scoreboard. And we're looking at JP, they're up 10. We're like, man, if they score here, that kind of like, what can the Jags do on this kind of day? And then they get their back to the wall and they go playing helter-skelter in the second half, and they get in the football game. Maybe they just need to go a little bit, crazy early on.
I don't think there are any crazy suggestions right now. At 0-2 with 2 more games against the AFC on the road, I don't think anything is out of bounds.
All right, let's get another one in here before the break. Harvey is out at the beaches, and next up on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, Harvey.
Yeah, hey, so Trevor doesn't seem to be able to identify the mismatches at the line of scrimmage like Brady and Rodgers. And if you listen to Doug's comments post-game, he said they basically dumbed down this offense as much as they can. The question I have also is, like, why no exotic blitz packages? It's just, I don't know, too simple. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the call. I mean, they did the Aluakin sack was on a blitz.
Yep, and then they brought might have been Monteric. They brought a defensive back, but I felt like he started so
far
late,
away.
Right? Yeah. From so far away. He was coming from the bottom of the screen to the defense's right side, and it was like, man. I mean, Deshaun Watson saw that coming the whole way, and he just stood there because it took so long to develop. But, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Here's the thing. All this, and they're in position to win the football game with the ball in their hands each of the last 2 weeks. So, we can say, and it's easy for me to say, and I just called for, let's go 2-minute. Let's press the issue. No pun intended, press Taylor. But, if you get into that circumstance, we're doing this without turning the ball over for the most part, with the exception of the ETN fumble. You start throwing some bad passes, and then you snowball and you get even further behind. So, but this is not working, what they're doing. So I'm open to trying anything here.
A couple of takeaways would help too. 2 games they've got none. Imagine if they had gotten a takeaway or 2 in the second half, and what that might have done to field position and changed the trajectory. The defense, which didn't play very well in the first half, really played well in the second half up until that point where they got down the field, and I think they had 29 yards with 7 minutes left in the second half, right? Turnover, takeaway, sack strip.
Well, and that's what's so disappointing. Last week you didn't get them, and then the Bills picked off 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And last week the Cleveland Browns gave up 6 sacks to Dallas. And I get it, Dallas has some pretty good pass rushers. I think we have some pretty good pass rushers based on what they did last year, and we got to them twice today.
Yeah, especially against backup tackles for the Browns.
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean,
at one point, a third-team tackle.
Yes.
Right. DeJuan Jones was in the locker room. You're playing your third-string guy who you just elevated off the practice squad yesterday.
Alas,
so be it.
Alas, here we are, 18-13. Back in a moment. We'll get a couple final calls in. If you don't get in here, the fifth quarter is next. After an 18-13 loss to the Browns, it's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
If you're facing cancer, you want a dedicated team working for you. At Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, we only focus on cancer. And we partner with one of the largest cancer centers in the world. So you'll have a specialized treatment plan created by our experienced and highly trained oncologists and surgeons, collaborating with one of the country's leading cancer centers. Best of all, we're in North Florida with locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Appointments at baptistmdanderson.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank performance savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Want to cruise down an open road in high-performance style? Visit JacksCorvetteGiveaway.com for a chance to win the ride of your dreams. A brand new 2024 Corvette Stingray Coupe. With its sleek design and cutting-edge technology, this vehicle is built for speed and luxury. So what are you waiting for? Enter to win at JacksCorvetteGiveaway.com today. No purchase necessary. Open only to legal residents of the states of Georgia and Florida. 18 years of age and older. Some restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. Ends 11/15/24. For entry information and official rules, visit gotoeventlink.com/rules.
Final moments of the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Brian Sexton. The fifth quarter is coming up next. Let's get a couple final calls here.
Yes, we got a couple final ones, so let's get them in. Matt in Murray Hill is next up on the Scoreboard Show. Hello, Matt.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hanging in.
All right.
I hear you. There seemed to be a big difference between the play calling in the first half last week and the second half, and then in the first half this week in the second half. And I was just kind of curious if you guys had any kind of insight as to what that difference might be. I'll take my answer off the air.
Yeah, I don't know if he's asking if somebody, like a couple of years ago, it was Doug in the first half, Preston in the second half. Well, put it this way. First half good last week, first half terrible this week. So unless they switched it up, look, I'm presuming that Press Taylor is calling all the plays out here. Are you not?
I don't know. I don't have any indication that he's calling any plays. Do you?
Well, I think people watching the TV broadcast last week thought that they saw him being the one on the mic calling the play in with the chart, holding it in front of his mouth.
That makes sense.
I'm basing it on that.
Right.
We watched the in-stadium feed today, so you don't necessarily see all that stuff. But I don't know.
I just assume that Doug is responsible for every play call.
Well, he's responsible for everything.
Because he is intentionally being vague about it. So Jamie called earlier and fire press. And my response is why? Doug is the play caller until he tells you that he's not. I mean, just an assumption, but I think all of it goes through Doug.
I don't know. I mean, to me, I look at it the other way. I feel like Press is the play caller until he tells you not, because he was the play caller last year.
Right.
He was asked so many times about it. The owner came out, stated his preference that he wants the head coach to do it, but he gives him his agency to, run his team the way he sees fit. So
that's kind of where I lean, because he said he wanted it, and Doug isn't telling you who's doing it. And so
that's the thing. I feel like if Doug was doing what the owner wanted and what everyone else seems to want, why wouldn't he tell you that?
But what we're both saying is, I feel like instead of I know. So
no, I don't know.
Yeah,
You're right.
No,
absolutely. Regardless.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be that drastically different, but if I'm Doug Pederson and this is my forte, and if I haven't been calling the plays up until now, I'm not going to get to 0-3, 0-4 because we're having a completely ineffective half on offense each week. Right. I don't know how to explain it. They started great last week.
Right.
They got the fire lit under them and got it going somewhat in the second half. Today wasn't great.
No.
But they moved the ball.
And they did it with a deep shot.
They did. All right, last call today on the Scoreboard Show. Doug in Mandarin, you're next up. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, I'm a first-time caller, a long-time listener. I just had something to say about Doug Pederson. I think he's been playing the call. Sorry, I'm stuttering right now. He's calling a lot, and it's just not good. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is not doing his thing, and he needs to take accountability because Doug Pederson is just not a good coach. I mean, we're 1-7 in the last 8 games. What are we doing? Doug Pederson is a terrible coach. That's why he got fired from Philly, because he did not do his job. He holds up to the Super Bowl, and he's not a good coach. I want him God, and I want that Lions offensive coordinator, because we're going to win the Super Bowl with him. I'm calling it right now.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. It is week 2, by the way.
So you're saying
there's a lot of football left.
I will say that, a guy who wins a Super Bowl and then leads the Jags, the second coach in their history to have back-to-back winning seasons, is not a bad coach.
Right. No.
So, I get it. You're frustrated, and I'm not saying the results are good whatsoever. And ultimately, the accountability falls in the lap of the head coach. So,
which is kind of the point I was making about the whole play calling thing, is because everyone wants to go after him, and he's intentionally keeping it vague. He's got broad enough shoulders. He's going to take it. And as is often said around here by those guys who used to be in Philly, this isn't Philly, right?
No doubt about that.
It's not Philly. I think Doug is a pretty good coach. Right now, it's tough to defend that at 1-7.
It's tough to defend anything on this football team right now, honestly. Even the guy, Josh Hines-Allen was the defensive player of the game for us, or the player of the game. He had 4 quarterback hits. But, again, this is a team that were under siege with the pass rush last week. Needed to see more of that today. Where was Trayvon Walker in the backfield today? Not much.
A couple of moves where he got free, but then Deshaun Watson did what Deshaun Watson always seems to do to this team.
Yes.
Did that little shimmy move and slid away, and there were a couple guys that got caught by that today.
Yeah. Where he backs up a yard or two and just kind of, don't get me, pops out.
7-0 as a starter against this franchise.
Well, with that, we'll call it a night at the Scoreboard Show. Thanks for all the phone calls this evening. What a day. What a week it will be coming up, too, by the way.
Can't wait.
An extra 1,440 minutes.
Just what we need.
Yeah.
Jags AM
One
tomorrow.
day didn't sound like enough.
Jags AM tomorrow?
Yeah, Jags AM tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
Jags today.
Jaguars today. Myself, Tony Smith, David Garrard tomorrow at 10.
Jags happy hour, 4 to 6. Pete Briscoe, Tony Baselli, and yours truly. What a show.
Awesome.
Brian Sexton, Mike Dempsey. I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening to the Scoreboard Show. The 5th quarter is next, and this is Jaguars Radio.